role to be in that Georgia game before Cade got hurt?
Honestly, very limited. I was kind of dealing with a lot of stuff last season, so I wasn't, kind of getting a lot of reps that I might have wanted in practice and in games. So I was just kind of straggling along. I was in some packages because G was banged up a little bit, so I was on some like goal line, like 3 tight end sets, like backside cut, and often when Cade down, it was me and Mitch Rossi kind of splitting time. So yeah, I wasn't going into that game. That was not the plan, obviously, and it was sad to see Cade go down.
So what are you thinking? I mean, G's already not playing.
Yeah.
Cade goes down. Now all of a sudden, you haven't really played all year for
Yeah.
various reasons. You're out there in the most important game of the year.
Yeah.
What's going through your head?
Man, it was a surreal moment. It was a lot of fun. I've been doing this ever since I was a little kid, so I necessarily don't get nervous when I'm playing football. But there were a couple times where I was like, all right, just calm down, get the signal, do your job as best as you can. But it was a surreal moment for sure.
Even if it's a small role that you had there, I mean, you got to catch.
Yeah.
The game. Did you kind of use that as momentum going into the offense?
Oh, yeah, for sure, because kind of got a taste of what games like that were, and I want more of it for sure.
You were in on the last series.
Yeah.
Thrust into a blocking role, which I'm sure was not the plan.
Yeah.
How'd you kind of deal with that, and how much did that drive you in the offseason?
Yeah, man, it was a tough play at the end. That's one thing I got to work on is pass pro. So getting bigger, strong, being able to sit, move my feet in a strong position like that with a good rusher like that is critical.
How much did you watch that play and dissect it?
Man, I couldn't tell you the amount of times I've watched it and thought about it. Now the season's coming up, so just trying to move past it, honestly.
What's it mean for you to room to Cade?
It's everything, man. There's not a better guy than Cade, not a better role model for, younger guys, and still me. I look up to him in many ways, hardest worker on the team, does everything right. If you want to have a chance of playing football and being successful, just look at what he does and try to mimic it.
How different does this year feel knowing that there is that opening behind Cade for you to have an opportunity to play a lot more?
It feels good. Just trying to put good stuff on film, let the coaches know they can trust me to put me out there in games and have multiple different roles, whatever that may be. But yeah, for sure.
You've touched on the struggles you had last year, obviously. How tough was it to get through it, and how much over it?
Yeah.
How were you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I lost my mom, I wasn't even in Columbus for a couple weeks. I was back at home. Then when I came back, there were times I was like, man, I don't even really know if I want to be playing the rest of this season. I wasn't in it for a while. Then we got such a good support staff with coaches and everybody around here trying to push me back into it. But yeah, it was tough for sure. I still think about it all the time. But yeah, it was a tough situation.
So you were dealing with obviously that, which was more important than anything else, and then physically, I think for most of the year you couldn't have been out there anyway.
Yeah,
This may sound unfair, like we shouldn't talk about it. But
yeah.
that's got to be one of the toughest stretches you could have had physically.
Yeah, it was a rough year, man. I'll just put it that way. It was not a good year for me, but I just trying to build from it, learn from it, just kind of control what I can control. Obviously, you can't really control kind of both of those things that happen, but trying to take positives from each of them and get better any way I can.
So how does that feel different for you at this time?
Honestly, I just don't really feel like there's anything that could really go on in my life that would get me to that point again. So, like, when things get tough, I feel like I'm a little scarred from things like that. Chalice in a good way. Obviously, what happened wasn't good, but, kind of built up my mental toughness, being able to fight through certain things.
Given your background as a receiver, Cade, linebackers make a lot of plays. He obviously was too. But what do you think you can add to this?
Yeah, man. I had Elder down in Cincinnati. I basically played X, so kind of what Marvin plays right now. I was always split out wide, then I'd jump inside in the slot as well, doing various things. So that kind of gave me an advantage coming up here receiving-wise because I've been doing it for years. Then obviously I had to work on the blocking thing, but I feel like I can add value downfield, making plays, stretching the field for our offense, and even then while I was playing receiver, we'd do perimeter blocks. So I feel like one of my strong suits as well is blocking on the perimeter and out in space. So I feel like I can add those two things, and the blocking in line is still coming along, and I feel like I can help in that way as well.
Two more questions.
Still leading, among the leaders in the best
And best what?
hair on the team?
Best hair? Yeah, I think so. It's getting a little long right now. I gotta cut it before the season, but yeah.
Why tight end? Why try and play continue playing receiver?
Just kind of my body type. I've had like broad shoulders, so they always knew from when they looked at me when I was about like 210 pounds that I'd kind of end up getting bigger, and I always kind of saw my future as a tight end. You know, it's kind of tough for big like 6'5" guy like myself to be really successful playing receiver, especially so just tight. I always kind of knew it would be tight end.
It's the first time you ever